Okay, so this is the quick start guide / walkthrough on eWills. Our first step is to go to the project repository, and we're gonna copy the git URL, and then go to our terminal and run git clone, and then paste in our URL. Now I already did this, so I'm not gonna do it again, and I just have it saved to my desktop. So once we have it downloaded, we'll then we'll cd into it. So cd eWills, and we'll go directly into the demo. We're not going to do any of the contract on how to get contracts uploaded. We're just going to use the deployed one on their testnet, Concordium's testnet. So we'll go into the demo version 2. Okay, and now we'll install our node dependencies. We'll run npm install. Okay, now we can run npm start, and you'll need npm, obviously. Let's see what version I'm running here. So 9.5, and now we just have to run npm start, and that will start our front end. Oh, looks like I'm already running on another port. Hold on, give me a sec. So the first process in creating a will is connecting our identity, and that's just connecting our Concordium wallet directly to our dApp. So we'll just press connect your identity, and it'll ask for our connection. Now let me change to the testator. Now I created some accounts here. So we have the notary and 2 testators. Now I'm using this guy as a witness as well. So, but I'll explain that later on. Let's first just connect one of our accounts or one of our identities. Press connect. And I like to rephrase it as identity address. Now, as you can see, there are quite a bit of wills underneath this identity, but we'll create a new one. And here's our active will. Now, like I said, I'll explain all this later on. We're just going to run through the process of creating a will, and then we'll come back to this, creating and notarizing a will, and then we'll come back to this on what's happening here exactly. So we'll create a new will, and we'll upload a file. Now, before I do that, I'm actually going to change some text in the file, so the hash is a little off. Okay, so we're going to do our demo will here. And we can see I just put an A at the end of Joe, just so the hash is a little different. So here's our will, and here's our hash and our will file itself, or the location of our URI. So now the next step is to notarize the will, and we'll press select our notary. I just have a fixed address in here, which you'd want to do. What I would do is have a list of notaries that are available, and then the time that they will, and the times basically. So it's like have a full experience on how the eWills. So my thought process behind selecting your notary would be you'd be able to select from a list of notaries, and then do utilize Zoom and DocuSign to execute the notarization process. So it would be, because that's currently how wills are notarized. They are using DocuSign and Zoom to do electronic signatures, and also be validated and along that line. Now, so we'll save our will to the blockchain. So we first have to select our notary, and then save the, because the notary is tied directly to the will on who we want to notarize it. So we'll save to the blockchain. So now what we want to do is submit, sign and submit. And you can see our inputs here. It's validating transaction. So yeah, here's our new will, will 26. And as of now, it's not notarized, and the hash is different from our previous will. Now, will 25 is notarized and is the latest one that was notarized, so therefore it's our active will. The latest will that's been notarized is our active will. So what that allows us to do is create a chain of custody, so we know what our prior wills. I'm sorry, not. We have a immutable ledger or immutable list of all our pre-existing wills. Now, the reason why you want to keep your existing wills is they can revoke the active will. They can be used to fight the active will. So the previous code in the smart contract would burn it, so you could only have one active will, but it would keep no track of. It wouldn't keep a history of the prior wills. And now in the blockchain, that doesn't make much sense because you would need. I mean, the whole idea of a blockchain is to keep immutable data, so might as well not delete it and utilize a list of all the prior wills that identity has had. So now the next step is to notarize. Now for notarization, what I did is I just created a path for the notary. So we know it's will 26 that needs to be notarized. And yeah, so let's jump over. So I just have it here. What we'll first need to do, because we're going to simulate the notary here, we're just going to disconnect our testator and connect our notary. Okay, we'll press connect, and then here's our notary address. And that was the same notary. Oh, I should have. That's the same address that is used to notarize the will. So that was the authorized notary. So we're going to paste in our testator and then the will ID, which was 26. We'll search. I don't know why they put in 10. Okay, so we can see here it is, the hash and our witness. So what would happen here is on the other end, you would have the testator, or sorry, you would have the, I think, because DocuSign and Zoom both have SDKs that allow for what we would call remote notarization, which would allow for a notary to watch and execute a will being signed. And so that's what the next. That's where I take this project. Is definitely incorporate DocuSign and Zoom into the experience. But okay, so anyway, so we'll enter our witness. Now, like I said, I'll use this address in the middle. Okay, so here is, okay, so we'll confirm our transaction, and this will notarize the will. Okay, so go back to our testator, make sure we are disconnected and connect our testator again. We'll just refresh. So we have 27 existing wills. There we go. So yeah, this is the updated one. So like I said, the latest will that was notarized is the active will. I think that makes the most sense. I don't know. You probably wouldn't want to have it so the user can change around their will too often. I feel like you would definitely need to be. It needs to be notarized, and then having the existing wills also be available to the court system. So that kind of runs into the next question: is how are wills discovered? Now, what wills do, or sorry, what wills, the discovery of wills is piggybacks off of what Concordium calls revoke anonymity, which is the idea that identities can be revoked and allowing for a court or authoritative power to revoke a user's identity, which then their identity will be shown, and that also falls in line with their assets as well. To make this process a little bit more simple, what I'll do is I've been looking at turning each will into an NFT. And then you could show ownership of an NFT or just a single NFT will, which then would show that they own a will, ideally. So turning the whole concept of non-fungible tokens into a mechanism that allows the court just to show that that identity or the address has a will. So that's my We Wills project. I hope you thank you for listening. Definitely want to improve on this. There's one more thing is encrypting wills. Now I have looked on how this can be done that also allows revoke anonymity to decrypt a will. So the idea would be you could use the wallet itself or the identity of the wallet to encrypt a will, and then within revoke anonymity, they will be able to, within that process, they can decrypt a will as well. I've been looking into that. As of now, I don't know if there's a solid. I'm sure there is a way to do it. I'll just have to talking to the developers or the Concordium devs on how that process would work, but I definitely think there's something there. Well, thank you for listening. I had fun building this.